Travis Hunter, Ocho, saw action on both sides of the football in his preseason debut, the Jags versus the Steelers. On offense, he had 11 snaps, 2 receptions, 9 yards. On defense, he had 8 snaps with 0 targets. Ocho, I might have to get a couple more jobs like you, because the way they got these games spread out and how you're going to have to pay, damn near, you basically got to pay to watch each individual game, Ocho.
Listen, you know what you can do? You can use YouTube TV. You can use YouTube TV where you get most of the games. And also I have the NFL app on my phone. So the NFL app allows you to be able to go back and forth through some of the games you want to. You can't see them all at the same time. But it's just the preseason, It's just the preseason. So it's kind of difficult to be able to watch the ones you want to watch based on location and where they are. So
because most of them are regional
right.
games.
But once the regular season gets in, you'll be able to watch multiple at one time, especially the 1 o'clock games, obviously the 4:30 games, and then those that are slated at 7:30.
Right. He did have 11 snaps, 2 receptions for 9 yards. Nothing deep, nothing significant. He gave up leverage on one play. He'll learn. These guys are really good. If you got leverage and he had leverage and let the guy bounce outside, you ain't catching those guys. You got to maintain your lane of responsibility and integrity. But like I said, it was I just wanted to see what we saw what we saw.
I love him. I think he's a fabulous player. I'm just hoping for his sake they use him correctly and don't wear him out, because that would be no fun for anybody, for this organization, for that young man. He's going to do whatever you ask him to do.
Cam Ward, started 0 for 2 passing, and we were wondering, okay. And you talked about the offensive line. They've addressed offensive line in the past 2 years prior to this draft. 2 top 11 picks with Skronsky and with J.C. Latham as well. I'm just curious, you've got a rookie quarterback stepping into a locker room and trying to win over that locker room as the face of the franchise. And when he does that, what impact does it have on those guys?
Well, he has already given this city and this team hope. And that's important. You have a guy that you respect. You watched him play tonight and you went, oh, okay, this is different. And so they've got to do a nice job of protecting him. They know that. This is their franchise quarterback. And if they can do that, he'll be there for a decade.
Let's go over to Travis Hunter now. We saw his highlights. It's an interesting way. We talked about he's a unicorn in the sense that no one has ever really done it. Deion played a little bit of receiver, but he's talking about going both ways here. How would you handle this?
Look, I would use him as a defensive player, first of all.
You would?
I'd play him at corner.
Why? Why corner instead of wide receiver?
Because he can take the ball away. He intercepts balls. He gives the offense another possession, right? I use him on offense, situational football, 3rd down, red zone. He might get 10 plays on offense, certain situations, but I'd put him on defense. This is what I would do. I would double the number 1 receiver. I'd put him on the number 2 receiver and say, okay, you want to throw to the number 2 receiver? I got a guy over there that can cover him. Not only can he cover him, he'll intercept the ball. He can intercept the ball. See, that's something about defense. I like defensive players that can catch the ball. That's possessions.
Okay, but so you don't buy the fact that this guy could be pretty much a regular on both sides of the ball in the same game?
I think it would be very difficult to play 30 snaps of defense and 40 snaps of offense.
Did it in college.
This is the National Football League.
Right.
Never been done. I'm not going to say you can't do it, but it would shorten his career, I believe.
Yeah, for sure.
Played about 80 to 85% of the snaps at Colorado, but to Herm's point, these are grown men now.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are a team teetering on the edge of oblivion. Once heralded as AFC South contenders, their 2024 season was a catastrophic collapse, a gut-wrenching 4-13 record, missing the playoffs for the 2nd straight year after a promising 8-3 start in 2023. The Jags lost 5 of their final 6 games that year, surrendering the division to C.J. Stroud's Texans. Fast forward to 2024, and it was even worse. A humiliating 47-10 Monday Night Football loss to the Bills in Week 3 set the tone for a season of despair. General Manager Trent Baalke and head coach Doug Peterson were shown the door, and the fan base is screaming for change. Can new leadership and a bold draft strategy pull this franchise from the ashes? But amidst the wreckage, a new era dawns in Jacksonville, one sparked by a generational talent and a quarterback desperate to reclaim his destiny. Let's dive into the seismic shift that could redefine the AFC. Enter Travis Hunter, the 2024 Heisman Trophy winner, and the No. 2 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, a unicorn in every sense of the word. This isn't just a player, this is a phenomenon. In his preseason debut against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Hunter electrified the field, logging 11 snaps on offense with 2 receptions for 9 yards and 8 snaps on defense with 0 targets. That's right, quarterbacks were too scared to even test him. At Colorado, he racked up 96 receptions for 1,258 yards and 15 touchdowns as a receiver, while snagging 4 interceptions and 11 pass deflections as a cornerback. ESPN's Dan Graziano predicts Hunter could finish top 3 in both offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year, voting an unprecedented feat. But here's the controversy. Can he really dominate both sides of the ball in the NFL? Some analysts argue he should focus on cornerback, locking down 2 receivers and stealing possessions with his elite ball skills. Others see him as Trevor Lawrence's new WR2, forming a deadly duo with Brian Thomas Jr. The Jaguars' plan: a bold hybrid role, 85% of offensive snaps and situational defense on third downs and in the red zone, but skeptics warn, playing 100-plus snaps a game could burn out this 1-year-old prodigy, shortening his career in a league of grown men. Will Hunter's gamble pay off? Or is Jacksonville risking their golden ticket? Hunter's arrival is a game-changer, but the spotlight burns brightest on the man under center. Can Trevor Lawrence rise from the ashes of doubt and lead this team to glory? Let's find out. Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be the savior, the No. 1 overall pick in 2021, hailed as a generational quarterback, but 4 years later, his 22-38 record and a career high of just 25 touchdown passes tell a different story. Injuries derailed him in 2023 and 2024, limiting him to 10 games last season with an AC joint sprain and a concussion. Now, with a $250 million extension in his pocket, the pressure is crushing. New head coach Liam Cohen, fresh off elevating Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, is tasked with unlocking Lawrence's untapped potential. Cohen's offense, paired with weapons like Brian Thomas Jr., who exploded for 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns as a rookie in 2024, and Travis Hunter, could push Lawrence past 4,100 yards and 30 touchdowns for the first time, but the offensive line remains a question mark. Despite adding Patrick McCarry, Robert Hainsey, and draft pick Wyatt Milam, the unit struggled last year. With Lawrence taking hits in 7 games, if they can't protect him, this $55 million a year quarterback could crumble under the weight of expectations. The AFC is watching. Will Lawrence finally silence the doubters? Or is his window closing? Lawrence's redemption hinges on his supporting cast, but the defense, the defense could be the Achilles heel that dooms this team. Let's break down the chaos on that side of the ball. The Jaguars' defense in 2024 was a disaster of biblical proportions, dead last in average time per drive allowed, 31st in yards per drive, and 27th in points allowed. They gave up 100-plus rushing yards in 13 games, with missed tackles and a soft interior line, letting runners waltz into the secondary untouched. The pass rush, led by Josh Allen and Travon Walker's combined 5 sacks, was a lone bright spot, but the interior line, Mason Smith, Devon Hamilton, and Eric Armstead, was a sieve, with Armstead's mediocre play raising eyebrows after his big contract. The secondary, ranked 32nd in passing DVOA, was equally abysmal, with Tyson Campbell struggling post-2022 and Darnell Savage flopping as a free agent bust. Enter new defensive coordinator Anthony Campanile, and additions like Jordan Lewis and Eric Murray, plus rookie Caleb Ransaw transitioning to safety. Travis Hunter's situational role on defense could spark turnovers, but asking a rookie to save this unit is a tall order. If the Jaguars can't fix their tackling and shore up the interior, they'll be shredded by AFC heavyweights like Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Is this defense a ticking time bomb, or can it rise from the ashes? The defense may be a work in progress, but the Jaguars' bold off-season moves signal a franchise ready to fight. Can their new vision propel them back to the playoffs? Let's explore their 2025 blueprint. The Jaguars are at a crossroads in 2025, with new GM James Gladstone and head coach Liam Cohen steering a franchise desperate for redemption. Their blockbuster trade for Travis Hunter, sacrificing a 2026 first-round pick, screams ambition, but at what cost? The offensive line upgrades with Macari, Hainsey, and Milam aim to protect Lawrence, while Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. could form one of the NFL's most explosive WR duos. Bleacher Report projects a 10-7 finish, good enough to win a weak AFC South, but the schedule is brutal matchups against the Chiefs, 49ers, and Texans will test their mettle. If Lawrence delivers, Hunter shines, and the defense improves even marginally, Jacksonville could crash the playoff party. But with a rebuilt roster and a new coaching staff, another 4-13 collapse looms as a real threat. This is the Jaguars' moment. Will they seize it or crumble under the pressure? The stage is set, the stakes are sky high, and the AFC is on notice. Let's wrap this up with why Jacksonville's 2025 season could change everything. The Jacksonville Jaguars are no longer a punchline, they're a powder keg ready to explode. Travis Hunter's two-way brilliance, Trevor Lawrence's quest for redemption, and Liam Cohen's offensive genius could make this team the AFC's most dangerous wildcard. With Brian Thomas Jr., already a 1,200-yard star, and Hunter's potential to be a Pro Bowl or All-Pro rookie, the offense could rank top 12-inch the NFL. But the defense must step up, and the offensive line can't afford to falter. If everything clicks, this team could win the AFC South and make a divisional round run. The Jaguars are a high-risk, high-reward gamble, a team that could either soar to the playoffs or crash in spectacular fashion. One thing's for sure, the NFL won't sleep on Jacksonville in 2025. Will they shock the league, or will the weight of their past crush their dreams? The Jaguars are ready to roar. Stay tuned for every heart-pounding moment of their 2025 journey. That's it for today's deep dive into the Jacksonville Jaguars' 2025 season. Will Travis Hunter become the NFL's next superstar? Can Trevor Lawrence finally live up to the hype? And will this team rise from the ashes to dominate the AFC? Drop your predictions in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more NFL breakdowns that hit harder than a Josh Allen sack. We'll see you next time, Duval.